Are live. What's up, all y'all spirits out there? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, or good night, whatever time it is when you are watching this video. Hey, what's up, y'all? Today is day 15 of our discipline challenge, and for today, we are doing a headstand flow. So we are gonna work a little bit on our core, our wrist, our arms, all that. We're gonna do a whole little flow. So if you guys are ready for that, go ahead and meet me on the mat. We are going to start in a laying down position just to work our core just a bit. All right, let me kick my slides off. All right, like I said before, just go ahead and meet me in a laying down position. We're going to work our core a bit. We're just gonna take a deep breath in. And as we exhale, we're going to extend our legs up in the air and we're going to flex our feet so our toes are pointing towards us. Now, we're gonna take a deep breath here. And as we exhale, we're just going to lower our right leg down, lift it back up with a deep breath in, and then lower our left leg down. And we're just gonna keep that motion just switching out from right to left, inhaling and exhaling as we lower the legs down, inhaling as we bring our legs back up. And just to tell you guys, we're not touching the ground here. Our legs are just hovering about an inch above the mat. So our legs are not touching the mat, and we're keeping our feet flexed, keep our legs engaged as we lower them from left to right. So let's take a deep breath here and a deep breath out. I just want you guys to remember that it's not about how fast these movements are, it's about how controlled these movements are. So if you're moving at a super slow pace, like how I'm moving right now, it's totally okay as long as you are controlled. So let's take a deep breath here and a deep breath out. Another deep breath in, deep breath out. Let's switch. A couple more breaths here. Remember, we are moving with our breath, and our movements are nice, slow, and controlled. Let's just do one more on each side. So I'm going to go down once more on my right side. And then I'm going to put that leg up and go down on my left. Now this time, once both your legs are up in the air like so, we're going to take another deep breath here, keeping our feet nice and flexed. And as we exhale, we're going to lower both legs down at the same time. So we're just going to lower them down. Remember, not touching the ground. Then we're going to lift them back up. I'm going to place my hands by my side. And I'm going to continue to move with my breath here. Taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Mosquitoes. Deep breath here and a deep breath out. Moving with our breath. Keeping our feet nice and flexed so our legs are engaged. Let's do that a couple more times here, guys. A couple more times here. Remember, we are moving slow and controlled. It's not about how fast these are. It's about controlling the lowering of our legs and controlling the lift as well. We want to control the whole thing. We don't want our body just playing out sporadically or chaotically. Sometimes we can lose the control if we're trying to make our movements fast. So let's do this for a couple more breaths. Let's do 2 more breaths here. Let's lower those legs down. Remember, not touching the ground. Exhale, pick them back. Last breath here, deep breath in. Lower those legs down. And as you exhale, go ahead and pick them back up. Take a deep breath here. And a deep breath out as you pull your knees into your chest. You just want to bring your upper thighs as close to your abdomen as possible. So you're activating your core here. You're getting a nice squeezing motion here because you're squeezing your abdomen to your thighs. You're bringing them as close together as you possibly can. And then once you are at that moment, you're gonna take a deep breath here. And a deep breath out. Still keeping the squeeze, keeping the activation in your core here, feeling that burn, feeling it build up in. And you're gonna take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. One more breath here, still squeezing it all together. And as you exhale, go ahead and release the activation in your core. Go ahead and release your upper thighs from your abdomen. We're going to take a deep breath here and a deep breath out. With our next inhale, we're going to pull it back together again, squeezing our upper thighs into our lower abdomen, activating our core here. Squeeze it in nice and tight. And let's take a couple breaths here, taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Feel that tightening, feel the heat build up within your core as you squeeze your thighs into your stomach here. Feel the burn. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. One more breath here. And as we exhale, we're just going to slowly release our legs down. Go ahead and cross your ankles just like so. Give yourself a little momentum as you rock forward into a forward fold. Why was I going to say forward fold? I meant to say hands and knees position, aka tabletop. I don't know why I said forward fold, y'all. I meant to say tabletop. Let's take a deep breath here and a deep breath out as we readjust our position. And hello, thank you guys for joining. I'm going to read your comments super soon into our tabletop. So remember, we're going to have our wrists stacked under our shoulders, and we're going to have our knees stacked under our hips, and we're going to take a deep breath here and a deep breath out. All right, you guys stay in tabletop. I'm going to read this comment real quick, but you guys just stay in tabletop. Alrighty. Okay. I think that says Kubali, or if it doesn't say Bala, if it doesn't say Q, because usually I'm so used to seeing a U next to a Q. I'm just so used to that. But then again, I live in America, so we're used to a lot of things. But they said hi. They also said your mom died. Well, I hope everything is well. Even with your mom passing, I hope everything is well with you. And I hope that wasn't too rough on you as well. I know grieving process can be different for everybody. But, hey, I hope everything is well with you. I hope you're moving on. I hope your family came together to celebrate your mom's passing. Because, sometimes when we come to death, sometimes we got to remember that life is a part of death. Death is a part of life. And we always come back. The end is never the end. Spirit always comes back. Do you believe in reincarnation? Hey, you might not believe in all that. We're not even finna get into that. But just know, life is never over. Hey, we're always coming back. Energy is always reusing. It's always gonna expire and expire. It's always gonna contract, expand, come in, come out. That's just what spirits do. But I'm sorry for your loss. And I hope everything is well with you. I hope everything is well. But yeah, that's our last comment. I still hope everything is well. I don't really know what to say when people tell me things like that. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm not very an emotional person. I'm really not. I'm not a very emotional person. So when people say that, I really don't know what to say to them, to soothe their spirit, to soothe their soul. I really don't. I really am so awkward. Like when people tell me sad news, I really don't know what to say precisely, but I try my best. And then they said, dang, somebody said, what the hell, your mom died? Y'all, give them support, y'all. Give them some support, y'all. This is a tragic time for them. Give them some condolences, okay, y'all? Condolences. They also said, can you give me a shout out? Okay, I'm gonna try to pronounce your name right. I'm gonna try to pronounce it. Yes, we are gonna do yoga, y'all, but can I console this person? Their mom just died, y'all. Damn. Give them a hand. Give them something. Can I shout them out? Their mom just died. Can I do that for them? Damn. Anyway, their name is, I'm sorry if I pronounced this wrong, but I'm really gonna try my best. I was gonna say Cuabila, but it might not be Cuabila. How do you pronounce your Q? Do you just like Is there a way you specifically pronounce that? Because when I say Q, I always be like Q or cool, like that type of pronunciation. So if I did not pronounce that right, if it's not Qbila, if it's not Qbila, if it's not that, you can say that. Like, I know I'm not that good at reading. I really know I'm not. But I hope I pronounced that right. But if I didn't, you can just tell me that. But shout out to you. And I'm sorry that your mom has passed. I'm sorry that your mom has passed. And hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you're doing well. And yes, now we can do some yoga. Now that I shouted them out and gave my condolences, now we can do some yoga. Like, y'all, we are not just gonna breeze past that comment. We are not just gonna breeze past that and get into the yoga. I had to say all that before. So yes, now we can get into the yoga. Again, I'm sorry for your loss. Condolences with all my heart. Again. Like I said, y'all, I'm awkward when it comes to things like that. You know, I really am. But again, one more time before we continue with the yoga. I'm sorry for your loss. But let's get back onto our hands and knees position. Let's get back into our tabletop. Let's spread our fingertips wide and stack our wrists under our shoulders and stack our knees under our hips. We're going to start warming up our wrists now. We're just going to start rocking back and forth, taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. I am going to be rocking over the wrist, and I'm also going to be sending my hips all the way towards my heels. You guys do not have to do that. That is optional. But I'm really trying to warm up the wrist here, so I am rocking all the way forward. And I am holding it just a bit before I send myself back. And I'm going to do that a couple more times. Taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. I'm going to do that one more time. Taking another deep breath in and a deep breath out. This time I'm going to hold it. I'm actually going to inch my knees a little bit back to send myself even more forward, pushing the ground away, holding it in this extended position. And I'm going to take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. I'm going to take one more breath here. And as I exhale, I'm going to send towards my heels, and I'm going to walk my hands closer to my knees. And this time I'm going to flip the tops of my hands towards the mat. So my palms are facing towards the sky, and the tops of our hands, we're going to push them against the mat. And we're going to press our fingertips against the mat. It's okay if the tops of your wrists start to lift up, because this can be a bit of an intense wrist exercise right here. We're in a very much deep flexion here. So it's okay. And if this is a bit too intense for you, if this is a bit too much, you can always bend the elbows out to decrease the intensity in this exercise. But if this is not enough for you and you need a little bit more, you want more, you can always lean back and the tops of your wrists will come up, and you're going to press your nail beds into the ground, and this is going to make the stretch a bit more intense. Me, this is my perfect size right here. I don't need to be all the way back there or be bent down. This is like my perfect angle right here. So we're going to stay here for a couple of breaths. I'm going to take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. One more breath here. Y'all don't mind that. My neighbors are gonna cut their grass, like, so you might hear their machinery. It's okay though. Okay. And as we exhale, we're just gonna continue our hands back. We're going to shake it out. Shake it out, taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Let's take one more deep breath here. And as we exhale, we're going to clasp our hands together and we're going to roll out our wrists. It doesn't matter what way you start rolling it out, because we're going to switch to the opposite direction anyway. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Let's take one more breath here. And as we exhale, go ahead and start spinning your wrist to the opposite direction. So if you're going towards the right, start going towards the left. And if you're going towards the left, start going towards the right. We're just going to take a deep breath here and a deep breath out. Let's take one more breath here. And as we exhale, go ahead and release that. Shake it out one more time, taking a deep breath in And a deep breath out as you walk your hands out into your tabletop. Go ahead and spread your fingers wide as you grip the mat. This time, have your knees hip distance apart. And we're going to tuck our toes and we're going to lift our knees just slightly above the ground like so. And we're going to take a deep breath here. And a deep breath out as we start rocking forward and backwards, keeping our knees above the mat. They're not touching the ground here. We're activating our core here, taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. 2 more breaths here. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling out the nose or mouth. 1 more breath here. And as you exhale, go ahead and kick up your hips to shift back to downward dog. Take a deep breath here. And a deep breath out. Y'all stay right there. I actually have to tighten my straps. Yeah. Let me tighten my straps real quick. Tie my little knot. And then we can continue after I tie my straps. All right. Now that my straps are tied, now we can continue. Let's go ahead and go back into our downward dog, tucking our toes, picking up our hips, and shifting back. We're going to take this time to paddle out our dog, taking a deep breath in, and a deep breath out. Let's take 1 more deep breath here. And as we exhale, we're going to send our heels towards the ground as we take a deep breath here in stillness. And a deep breath out. Let's take 1 more breath here. And as we exhale, we're going to take our feet and we're going to take baby steps towards our hands. Nice baby steps here into our forward fold. Let's take another deep breath in. And a deep breath out. 1 more breath here. And as you exhale, let's plant our fingers firmly against the mats as we take baby steps backwards, settling into our downward dog. Take a deep breath here. And a deep breath out. Let's take 1 more breath here. And as you exhale, I want you to raise your gaze between your hands, pick up your heels, and shift forward into a high plank. Take a deep breath here. And as you exhale, go ahead and bend your knees.